Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Med to Be. My name is Nama Inziduru, and I am the founder and host of the Med to Be podcast, a platform where I have health professionals of color come and share their experiences about what it took to get to the respective paths and what their experience is like either in school or in the work field. And today I have Ernest Frimpong. Hey! Well, firstly, Ernest, happy belated birthday. When
Thank
we
you.
had the call yesterday, you didn't tell me it was your birthday. You were the
No,
birthday. Like, why didn't you say
no,
nothing?
there's a whole trend about you the birthday on the birthday. Is
Yes.
I didn't know how to bring it up. So like yeah.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah,
Oh,
it was my birthday. I had a good one. So thank you. Thank you.
my God, happy birthday. Are you like a new year, new you? Are you more reflective? Are you just like thankful to be alive? Like, what's your vibe every year?
All of the above. I think usually like my natural state is just being reflective.
For sure.
So I don't usually wait on my birthday, but the birthday usually brings about more reasons to be reflective, and then I think just the timing of everything too,
Mm-hmm.
of what this new year brings and me
Mm-hmm.
about to go through what we're going to discuss later on,
Yes,
um more reason to reflect. And so
for
yeah,
sure.
it's a weird one because there's some sense of like an end of a chapter and a start of a
Mm-hmm.
new one,
Mm-hmm.
but we're moving and cruising along.
For
So
sure. For sure. The end of an era, beginning of a new one. I can definitely relate to that as well. So what the reason we're here is because you announced it. Announced it on TikTok I saw, but I also asked you, but you just got into PA school, so you're going to be going to
it
school to become a physician assistant. First of all, congrats. That's amazing.
is.
Um, when we met like almost a year ago, I think we were
Yeah,
both like really still trying to get into our respective healthcare programs, and you
mhm,
finally are there, and it's just so cool to see how
yeah,
things one can change in less than a year, and
yeah,
two, like one day you're worried or one day you're really grinding for something, and the next minute you just have it. So,
yeah, yeah.
congrats, and I'm excited to get into the story of it all.
Thank
But
you.
before we do, I have like a list of random questions that I wanted to ask you. It's something you can prepare for. That's the fun of it. So please pick a number 1 through 50.
50. Hey,
Yes.
usually 150. Okay. Um, 26.
26. Okay. Who is one mentor that really helped you? Who's one mentor that you had that really helped you shape your career or inspired you in your career?
Shaped my career. Oh, you don't have to give me a minute. Let me think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Shaped my career. I'd say I'm very blessed to have a lot of mentors for different things.
Mm-hmm.
That shaped my career. This is tough. Can I cheat and say like two-ish people, or does it have to be one?
No, you can. You can go ahead.
Okay. So one of my mentors is like my cousin. His name's
Mhm,
Wesley.
mhm.
He has no experience in the medical field. He's
Okay.
completely business.
Okay.
But he's someone that I talk a lot with regarding like my decision making, the steps I want to take.
Mhm,
And I think he always taught me that there's no not to necessarily have a plan B, but just revise your plan
mhm,
A. And I think being able to do that was really important because as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life and my career, um, I was staring at two different doors.
mhm,
And I knew that in my heart, I knew I wanted one door specifically, but the outside noise was telling me to go through another door.
mm,
And he was just really big on, well, if this is your plan A, stick to your plan A. It's going to work out in however way it needs to work out, but stick to it. Um, and the second mentor was actually the one who kind of inspired me to become a PA. His name's Kumar.
mm,
I met him when I was 17 years old, um, and I was shadowing a surgeon that he worked with, who I knew personally, but she happened to be caught up in some meetings and whatnot. And so my shadowing experience that was supposed to be with her ended up being with him. And that's when I was like, wait, PAs can do these things too. PAs can be in these spaces. I never new. And then from there, I just felt like it was like a little kid in a candy shop, just exploring a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say those two combined kind of got me towards this path.
Thank you for sharing that. And shout out to your mentors. It's
Shout
so
out
great
to
when you can have people that have charted the path ahead of you. And I also love that one of your mentors wasn't in the medical field, but
yeah,
was able to help you with the skill that helped you translate into your path and get you where you feel like you need to be. So that's great.
for sure.
Okay, next number.
Okay, 8.
8. Okay. What is okay? If you weren't pursuing a career as a PA, what would you be doing? What would you like to do? What did you want to do when you were growing up? Like, what was your
It's
uh,
funny. I didn't. So growing up, I didn't have anything. It
yeah,
was something medicine, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it's funny because this came up in my school has this get to know me type of slide thing. So we have to present our buddy slides, and that was a question. I really had to sit back, like, what was I going to do? Of late, it's been voice acting. Uh,
Oh, nice.
funny enough, it's been
Nice.
voice acting because people have, like mentioned things, and it's like I can hear you like narrate a story or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I am intrigued by that.
Okay.
Um, if it wasn't that, I think it'd be modeling. I'm
Nice.
intrigued by modeling and want to get into that art.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so those two would be my careers outside of medicine.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. I could definitely see you narrating like a nice story in a
Right, right,
setting
right.
for the
Yeah,
kids. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Okay. One more number. One more number for you to pick.
Okay, 48.
48. Okay. Do you prefer group study sessions or one-on-one study sessions, like to study by yourself?
Hybrid.
Hybrid? Okay.
Sorry to cheat, but hybrid. I think. I feel like for
I'm not a
me, how I
comment, not
study.
gonna, yeah.
I feel like how I study best is just like I need that alone time
Yeah.
because sometimes when you're in a group setting, there's a lot of different parts of information that's coming from you. Some people know certain parts of it well than others. I
Hmm.
just need to lock in and see what I don't
Yeah.
know that, and then when I feel comfortable with it, then I can go into the bigger group, and then
Hmm.
we can have an actual discussion. And then maybe there are things that I need to clean up on or I need to study up on more. And I can ask people like, "Oh, how did you get this part? Because I didn't understand this, but I really know this part." So yeah,
Yeah.
start off solo, then go to the big group.
Yeah. Okay. Good
Yeah.
strategy. Good strategy. Thank you. Thank you
What
so
about
much.
you?
Did great. Um, all right. So let's pivot into your story, pursuing a career as a physician assistant. So I always like to start at the why. Why did you
Yeah.
decide to choose this path? So tell us a story about how you, well, you already kind of mentioned finding
Yeah.
out about the paid profession. If you go into a bit more detail as to why you said, okay, this is what I want to do, and you decided to lock in on that path.
Yeah. So growing up, I was part of a program called the Reach Program. I think it was a very formative time in my life that it came in, and I started as a fifth grader, and I spent a lot of time in school just working because the whole goal of it was to get kids from the inner city into these private Jesuit based high schools.
Mm,
Um, and I always say that program kind of changed the trajectory of my life. And there was something that we had gone to talk, and we usually would get like talks throughout our time in class. And one day someone had said, "You want to work a job that never feels like, yeah, you want to work a job that doesn't feel like you're working a day in your life. Like that's the goal in life, in
mhm,
terms of enjoying what you do." Definitely messing that up a little bit, but that's the main idea. And so for me, I was like, huh, okay, what is that? And when I sat back, I realized, I really enjoy being of service to people.
mhm,
Like that's my love language, and I love being able to have a direct impact on someone's like physical outcome. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do about that? And growing up in an African household, always the three big ones: doctor, lawyer,
Doctor,
engineer.
lawyer, engineer. Hi.
No, and my mom's working as a CNA all my life. My dad used to work as a environmentalist specialist, so in other words, a custodian at healthcare facilities as well. So they are kind of getting the inside track. So I was like, okay, maybe something in the hospital, maybe. And then I was watching Grey's Anatomy growing up when I was too young to be watching Grey's Anatomy, and I remember this. I remember seeing like a black guy who I believe he was a cardiologist. I don't remember
Mm,
his name. I For the fans out there, please forgive me.
yeah.
Allow me on this one. I don't watch the
Mhm.
show like that. But I remember he had a place of significance among his peers. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because also he looked like me. And I was like, okay, I definitely want to lock in on something like that. Because always be the head, never be the tail. I felt like I had
Mhm.
the abilities to be a leader.
For
Um,
sure.
and something in medicine just felt right. It felt right. It felt natural. And then, as you're growing up, you start figuring out different things, start learning about different careers. So as you get older, and it wasn't during COVID, and then as you get older, you start learning more about different careers. And so during COVID time, obviously, we're all home, right? And the world kind of stops, and you're just hearing about the unfortunate news that's going on and what's going on in the healthcare systems, like at these hospitals with all these lives. And we're literally just stuck, like, what's going on? And that gave me a lot of time to think. And so I sat back and I was like, okay, Ernest, what do you want to do with your life? Because I have this document still on my laptop. And I called it my 4-year working plan.
Mm.
And I had two paths set, pre med and pre PA.
You're
And
so
I listed out,
serious. You
oh,
love, you know we're playing.
no joke.
We're
This was a
playing.
no joke thing.
Yeah.
In part because I knew the time commitment that it would take to accomplish these things. And so while I didn't go into school declared, like I went into undergrad undeclared, I knew for myself what I wanted. And so I listed out all the programs. I mean, all the classes that I would need to apply to these schools post grad. And I would just keep track. Okay, I got this grade, I got this grade, I'm doing well. This is what I think I can take it, whatever the case may be. And I feel like my sophomore year was that point where it's like, okay, from this point on, you either have to go fully into one route or fully into another route. And I just thought back to like what matters to me. And for me, I realized that as important as it is, we need everybody. We need doctors, we need PAs, we need
100%.
NPs, we need nurses, CNAs, PCTs, the whole nine. Like everybody has an important role to play. When I thought about for me though, I was like, what's my most important role that I can excel the best at? And I thought that was the PA route because the medicine thing for me was something that I knew would be something more of status. And I want to enjoy what I'm doing with myself, or for my career, but I didn't want to feel like I'm living up to the expectations of my parents
Mm.
or trying to. And that's not in any way to say doctors are like not needed. We need doctors. I'm gonna need a doctor, my friend. When you become a doctor, call me because I need a job. But um, but it's important to work alongside them. And so for me, that was one of the things I was like, like I don't want that. And it's okay to not want that. And this is why I say the whole thing about what my cousin had told me about don't go to plan B,
Mhm.
just revise your plan A.
Yeah.
And initially I felt like when I was confirming that, I felt like I was stepping away from my plan A. But I was like, no, like this is what I truly want in terms of the PA profession.
Mhm.
And that's okay. And let me just embrace that. And then once I embraced that and I fully walked through it, it took some talking to with my parents because they didn't really understand it. Like, what's a PA?
Mhm.
What what do you mean?
That's a good, yeah, yeah.
But it was something that I was like, trust me on this. I know what I'm doing, and I know what else I want for myself outside of medicine. Because
For
medicine is
sure.
great, but what else do you want outside of medicine?
Mhm.
Because there's so much more to life than your professional career. And I think in this day and age, you can get sucked in to just what you do for work. But I want to be a present dad. I want to be a present uncle. I want to be a present Ernest. Um, and I felt that for me, the best way for me to do that would be as a PA because I can still do what I want to do in terms of treating patients and taking care of them and having direct contact with them. But I can also take a step back and then do some other things as well.
For sure,
Um,
yeah.
and so yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up with, excuse me, with this PA thing.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing. I definitely really relate to the work life integration component that you mentioned. While you are a person of service from what you've mentioned, you do care about helping people. You also understand that you want to prioritize your life and the family that you want to have and the family that you have now and just who you are as a person. And I
Yeah,
think that takes a lot of time and reflection. You were very serious in outlining the classes and everything that you had to do. And that really helped you to be proactive, even explaining to your parents as well. Because for me, being in our generation, I didn't fully understand the PA profession until I think during the pandemic is when I started doing a deeper dive as to what profession
Yeah.
I wanted to pursue in the healthcare space. So I can't imagine, I guess, generations past. This is not a new profession, but I guess it's newer, I guess, to some. So I definitely agree with having to explain that and
Yeah.
um, kind of showing that this you can be a leader. You are a leader as a PA, and you are doing so many things that are very pivotal and essential in in the healthcare field. So
Yeah.
definitely applaud you for that. You talk about kind of walking through the door and taking those steps to pursue a career as a PA. So what did you do once you know, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock in. You completed those classes. Particularly for me, I'm really interested in how did you get all those clinical hours? Because when I was looking at like the
Mm.
requirements, you guys require so many clinical hours. It's like 200. Is it
Yeah.
like 200
I
on
mean,
that?
it depends. So each program is different. I think each
Okay.
program, which also adds to the challenge of applying to these programs
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
what counts for A might not count for D,
Yeah.
but you want to apply both A and D. So what do you
Hmm.
do? And so for a lot of times, a lot of good advice, good nuggets is that people tend to start working on the clinical hours in undergrad.
Hmm.
So they'll apply to like they'll get their MA certification, your medical assistant certification, um,
Mm.
or they'll become CNAs or PCTs or whatever the case may be. Something that is a bit like low scale in terms of like work responsibility, but it still counts. The other important thing is to also check your school's requirements because each school also has different things that they consider as direct patient care experience and healthcare experience.
So it's not
So
uniform throughout all the schools.
it's not uniform. So for
Oh.
some places, right,
Mhm.
like a popular profession I know is like clinical research. Like if you work as a CRA, clinical research analyst or associate, that tends to be a job that counts as clinical hours because depending on your role and how often you're on site, you're directly working with patients.
Yeah.
But if you were a clinical coordinator and you didn't have any patient interaction, if you were an office coordinator, yes, you work with doctors and you're overseeing their templates and whatnot. But some schools may not deem that as enough
Hmm.
for it to be considered like, okay, these are exceptional patient care hours. And then it's the quality of your patient care experience too.
Hmm.
So all these different things, it definitely becomes frustrating. And so for me, I remember when I was applying for jobs, this job came up. I was a clinical care coordinator um, at a cancer site in the city. And I was really nervous because, like, how is this going to work? Because I'm working with these doctors, I'm directly working with these patients, but I feel like something's missing. When I tell you, I was nervous, I was worried, I was stressed. There were times where I thought I had to leave my job and go somewhere else because I was like,
Hmm.
I don't, this isn't enough. And if I'm spending a year, 2 years in here, that's a year, 2 years that I don't have that I could have been
Yeah.
doing elsewhere. And a lot of these schools, they tend to want to see that you have a decent amount because my theory, the training, we're under the same module as like med school to an extent, but we're shorter.
Hmm.
And I feel like part of why they want you to have such extensive patient care experience is because A, they want you to know what you're about to get yourself into, but B, you're gonna need some of that because you don't have the same time as a doctor in training to
Hmm.
go through the same timeline. Like we have, like my program is a 29, I believe 29, 30 month program, year of didactic, a year of clinical rotations, and then I'm immediately in the workforce. And
Hmm.
so they just want you to like you're aware, you know what you're getting yourself into, which I think is smart. I think is really smart. So yeah, so I worked as a clinical care coordinator. I was a CC1, and then I became a CC2. And when you step up as a CC2, you start working directly, like really in the clinic with these providers. And it dawned on me, I was like, I'm bringing these patients back. I'm rooming them in. I'm getting the room set up. I'm working with our research team. I'm working with our OPNs, our office practice nurses, and all the parties involved towards these patients' care. I could grab me some vitals. I could do me a little something, something.
Okay. Okay.
And so I had asked one of the nurses I was working with, like, hey, do you mind if I grab these patients' vitals? Because I feel like I need this for PA school, for my
Mhm.
applications. And that's all it took. So I was doing that under the table,
Oh.
so to speak. So to speak. But I wasn't recording it myself.
Yes, that's for sure.
So, because like
Mhm.
that, I don't want no violation. I love,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I'd have the nurse come with me and then we do it together
Okay.
a few times. And so
Okay.
that was kind of like the practice, right, that I was doing. And then there was a switch in my role in which we kind of became a hybrid between a medical assistant and a care coordinator. And
Okay.
so we were responsible for collecting specimen, doing vitals, doing EKGs, as well as scheduling
A lot
and
of
coordinating.
elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just about a lot of timing. But by the
Mm-hmm.
time that role came in, I was already doing what the role required because I just had the forethought of like, hey, I'm already bringing these patients back. Let me just step it up and do some more. So that kind of helped me get my hours. So by the time I applied, first time I applied, I was already over like 3,000 hours because I already spent so much time. And then by the time I applied again, 4,000 hours, and I was like, oh, I didn't. And you don't realize, like, oh wow, I actually have a
Mm-hmm. The
lot.
time built up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then for your classes, did you have to take
Mhm.
any classes post undergrad to fulfill any requirements? Had you already gotten everything when you were in undergrad, so you just focused on getting on stacking up those clinical hours?
Yeah, so in undergrad, I was a public health major. They called it health policy and management at Providence College. Go Friars. Excuse me. And so because of that, I wasn't the traditional bio pre health pre PA student, but I was
Mm-hmm.
taking a lot of the prereqs because I knew what it was beforehand. And so people tended to think that I was a bio major. I was like, no, I'm not. Um, and so I was short two classes, and I knew that I planned for it because
Mm-hmm.
I had to plan for this because I knew I was going to take classes post grad.
Yeah.
Um, so I had missed microbiome and biochem.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I knew my school offered, and it was going to be asynchronous, which
Okay.
was perfect because I could do that from home, not have to worry about like with it conflicting with work or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took microbiome through this online course, and that was definitely some more work because it was just harder to do with my job and the hours that my job requires. So yeah, those were the two classes. Through God's mercy and grace, I survived both of them and did fairly well, and yeah, and it helped. Another thing though, for those that are interested in applying, definitely make sure that your school allows you to take online classes because some schools they don't count online classes,
Mm-hmm.
especially if the class requires a lab because they want to see that you were in person
Mm-hmm.
for that. I got lucky. Also, COVID because of the COVID years, it helped because a lot of the schools were accepting online classes due to the fact that COVID kind of messed up our day to day norms, and they knew that people had to manage with online classes just because of all the rules with 6 feet away and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that definitely worked in my favor, but I had to take two classes post grad.
Okay. So it sounds like similar to me. You also had some growth years in between when you finished school and when you're about to start
Yeah,
your paper program. How many years did you take off? How many years? How long was your growth year?
which is so because I graduated class of 2022 and I'll
Like
start August 2026. I don't know why I had to
four.
think of that, but
Four.
four. So yeah,
4 years.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I reflect on my journey as pursuing my medical degree and trying to get into med school, I think that initially when I was considering or someone had run the idea of growth years, like gap years
Mhm.
to me, I
Yeah.
almost rejected it because I was like, why would I take time off before I go to school when I can
Yeah.
just go to school and then get out early, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I find that there is a lot of like molding, a lot of seasoning, and a lot of
Mhm.
uniqueness that is added in those years in between. So I just kind of wanted to know for you, what's something that like you didn't even expect, but you reflect on and you're really thankful for that you learned about yourself or learned about yourself in this journey during your growth years.
So I feel like it's funny. These growth years, as because I'm similar to you, I was really frustrated with the fact that I'm taking a pause. Because
Mm.
what do you mean? And I'm very used
Yeah, what do
to
you mean?
from
Just arrived. Yeah,
middle school, high school, college,
yeah,
the next thing, right?
yeah.
Um, but I think one of the biggest takeaways that I got from those growth years is that it's important to take a break, touch some grass,
No,
take a
for
break,
real. Mm-hmm.
because life comes at you fast. And the thing that and I'm curious to know how you feel about this, is that once you start that next journey, there's no reversing.
Mm.
Like once the ball gets rolling, like it's going to keep rolling.
Mm-hmm.
First day class hits, oh, baby,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
next one, and then exams, and you start realizing like, wow. And so I was talking with
Yeah.
one of the docs I work with. He became like a mentor to me as well, and I remember sitting in his office. He told me, he was like, before I started med school, I took two. I think he took two. He took 3 years off,
Hmm.
and he's one of the younger doctors on the floor. So I'm sitting back. I'm like, you took time off, and he's like, yeah. And he said those are some of the best years of his life because he
Hmm.
learned about himself. And as I reflect on those growth years, I think the biggest thing for me is like, one, it helped me be able to prepare for my interviews because there's so many things that happen outside of the classroom in terms that happen with life that are going to come up again. And how do you speak on that? How do you reflect on that? Right? If you're always going, 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 you don't take time to sit back and review, reflect, think back.
100%.
Um, and I think that's one of my biggest takeaways, just being able to getting the time to spend with family, getting the time to spend with friends. Especially now that I'm in a position where I'm literally about to move. Like I'm about to
Yeah.
move to the south, and I'm not even
Yeah.
a southern boy. And so
Yeah.
I really, 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 really appreciated it. It was frustrating,
Yeah.
but I think it was a great way to be uncomfortable and get comfortable with that uncomfortable.
100%. Yeah, everything retweets.
Yeah,
I think that, well, to your first point, I definitely agree that once the ball gets rolling, we're going to be in it. And I've
yeah,
been thinking about that. Every year, every year for the last few years, I'd be like, okay, this is my last year before I go to med
yeah,
school. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm going to live this year. I'm going to live this summer. I would make sure that summer is the best
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
So I've been having the best summer for the last God knows how many years.
I love that for
And
you.
so, and so now, like, that I'm actually, by God's grace, preparing to go to school, I'm like, oh my God, like, the time is really coming. Like, I
Yeah,
too am going to be moving, my time won't be as free as it is now.
right,
And I'm
right,
so excited because, again, this is something that you've wanted for so long, and I've wanted this for
right,
a long
right.
time. So I'm excited for that. And I think even with the gift of the growth years is like in the school that I got into, and I was giving my kind of like my introduction and my elevator speech. Everything I was saying was as a result of the things I did in my growth here, like building the Met to Be. I talked about how I got a fishing license, very random. I learned how to got a fishing license last year. Yes, fishing, fishing license. I had been able to travel the world and connect with so many different types of people, which reflects who we will interact with in the healthcare field. There's so many different people from different walks of life. So it gives you the flexibility to know other experiences that are similar and different from yours. And I think again, just that seasoning and just maturing in age, when I reflect on like what my why was, I would say like when I graduated in 2020, it wasn't as clear and it wasn't as distinct as it is now. Now there's more like I can fully understand why this is something that I should be doing and how it fits into my career long term, minus the status, because that status thing is very tempting. The desire to get a medical degree and to be the doctor of the family, the PA of the family,
Hey,
like
hey, hey.
it's tempting, like the money, it's tempting. But the truth is that it's tough. Like
Yeah.
there's one of someone we had earlier is like things are hard. You have to choose what your heart is. I
Wait,
think health career paths are hard in the sense that there's a lot of studying involved, a lot of sacrifice of your time, a lot of intense like clinical like on ground work. So despite the status and the money, there's a lot of hard work involved. So I'm thankful that my why became clearer, and hearing you talk about how you've been seasoned and molded in this season too, just again, just like there's a beauty in the growth here. So if anyone here has ever thought about taking a gap year or growth year, please take it. Don't be afraid. I was
yeah,
afraid, but I've been taking a few, so don't be
yeah.
afraid.
The other thing too, on top of that about taking it, there is, I think, for all of these careers, is this sense of time,
Hmm.
and we're always running against the clock.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, for those that are of faith, right? Our timeline is different from God's timeline. So like
so
what
true.
we think is like taking years, that literally is a day in His eyes, right?
So
But
true.
even aside from that, there's so many people that when you get admission into these programs, your neighbor might be like a mother, father of two, approaching the age of 50, but they're
So
doing it. You know what I'm
true.
saying? And you're in a position where you may be younger, and you're thinking, "Wait, I'm late," but it's like, no, no. So you're perfectly. in line and on time with what you need to do. So far as you've been putting in the work behind it, there is no sense of rush. So like try to dispel that because it's hard. Growing up in this day and age, you see social media, people are doing things. I had friends who got out of college and they're really successful. They're out doing trips. Me too. I want to go and do some, but I know I can't go and do some. And
Yeah,
it's hard. But then again, like you were saying, remembering your why, right? Remembering
yeah,
why. Eventually things will come through. My dad always says like eventually you will enjoy the fruits of your labor, but sometimes you
yeah,
have to sacrifice. And that's what this is. And if you think about it, you're sacrificing now for what it will be a greater sacrifice when you start working.
hmm,
Because giving your time, giving your energy, giving your memory, your brain to care for another person is a beautiful, beautiful sacrifice, but it's still a
yeah,
sacrifice. Someone
for
is
sure,
trusting you with their lives, and you have to really care for that.
sure,
But you learn that during these growth years. So yeah, you're on time. Wherever it is, you're on time. Don't ever feel
yeah,
like you're behind. When things hurdles come through, you'll clear them because it's just a test and a way to train you for what's to come.
for sure. A word. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Ernest, for that. See, is that new year, new age wisdom? You know, you're coming in.
Right. It's just it's shop, it's shop, it's
Yeah,
shop.
yeah, it's sharp, sharp. Okay, so pivoting to present day, prepping to go to school. What is something you're looking forward to? I heard you say you're not used to being a Southern boy. You know, are you excited to move? Are you excited to just be finally in that program? Are you excited to kind of experience something you have been kind of preparing for your entire well, not your entire life, but preparing for
Yeah, for
recently? What are you looking
recently,
forward
yeah.
to? Yeah, not your entire life.
No, I think I'm looking forward to everything. I think I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm scared.
Hmm.
And it's okay to say that I'm scared.
Yeah,
I think that's something that people try to downplay. It's like, no, I'm terrified. The work that's coming, I'm scared of it, but I prayed for it, right? And
yeah.
so, I'm looking forward to it. But I think just the whole experience, like I don't know, like me celebrating this past birthday, I was like, this is my last birthday as a resident in New York.
Hmm.
Excuse me, because from this point on, same old. When the ball starts rolling,
Hmm.
there is no coming back. Like, and every time I do come back, I'm gonna be different from when I left.
Yeah,
And so I'm intrigued to see how this new chapter begins to change me, how I begin to change those around me.
for sure.
Um, because from this point on, there's definitely certain life things that I expect to happen and whatnot, and you just become older, hopefully wiser, and it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. It's like going from a boy to a man, but you're a
Hmm.
young man to a man.
For sure.
Um, so I'm embracing it all. I'm scared of it all, but I'm looking forward to it all.
Sure. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Um, the Met to be turns 5 in like 2 years, and I was thinking about having like a where
Hello.
they girl, boy, it's a baby. It's a baby that's growing. Yeah. But it turns 5 in 2 years, and I am thinking of doing like a where are they now? And I feel like by the time, by God's grace, year 5, you would have been done with you'd have been
In
done
two
with your
years?
yeah 2 years,
Oh no, no,
2020. You want to be
no,
done? Okay,
no,
okay,
no.
okay. Okay,
I'll
but we'll
do
let
like in my one of my rotations, but don't worry, don't
okay,
worry. We'll
okay,
still
okay.
celebrate.
Yeah, gotta celebrate that for sure. So, looking forward to see how amazing you
Yeah.
are years from now. So,
Thank
great work in advance. And then my last question is going to be: I always love to channel it back to those coming after you. Someone right now considering pursuing a career as a physician assistant. Maybe this is their plan A, and they are kind of like not sure what steps to take, not sure if they should still go for it. What is a word of encouragement or word of wisdom or word of caution that you can actually share with someone who's considering a path similar to
you,
yours?
man. I have so many.
Let's
I
hear it.
think
Let's have it. Let's have it. Let's have it.
let's have it. Let's have
Ooh,
it. Okay, I think the first one um is a relatable experience. I don't know if everyone has had this, but there's someone I think along the way that has kind of discouraged you. And
yeah.
I like part of why I never became a bio major was because I was terrified of the biology department. Not just at my school, but everyone's experience that I've heard was never good. And I was
Mm,
like, I don't want that for myself, actually. I want peace. Um, don't let anyone discourage you. If you feel like you have it, this profession was placed in your heart to do it. Seek it. Don't let anyone discourage you or feel like I was talking to someone recently and they were thinking about PA. They went to speak to an advisor. I think they had a tough time with the class. The
Mm-hmm.
advisor then told them like, "Oh, I think you should look to do another profession," which would have been a little beneath them. Again, every member of the healthcare team is needed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel like this is what you want to do, don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do it, because you're needed in those spaces, regardless. And part of why I say that is because there's never been a you in that position before, because there's only one you. Even if you're a twin, there's only one you. Um, so that's one. The
Mm-hmm.
second one, definitely do plan. Like, do your best to plan, because it does take work. It does take some planning, and just to make your process easier for yourself. The headaches will come regardless. You can make a plan to go to the beach. It says it's going to be sunny. Then the next day you wake up, it's raining, right? So you can plan as much as you want, but it's still important to have somewhat of a plan. I think looking back at my experience, it helped the fact that I kind of had such a tight schedule, to an extent. But even with myself, I had a plan and it didn't go fully according to plan because I didn't get in the first time I applied.
Yeah.
Right? But here I am getting ready to go. So it works
Sure.
out, but it is important to plan. And I think the last thing I want to say is that it works out. Like, don't stress yourself. The process will stress you enough. And I remember I was talking with another friend, and I was saying, I can't believe how stressed I was to only go into school and then be stressed by my classes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just a real thing. So
Yeah.
that's why it's important to enjoy, and during these growth years, really kind of let your hair down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because it's needed. It's needed. Go on that trip. Save your money, but go on that trip when enjoyment time is available. If you can afford to take it, do take it, because it's those memories that you're going to look back that's going to carry you when
Yeah.
you're stressed and you're going through a tough stretch where you have an exam every other week or every week, and it's just like too much is going on.
Yeah.
So those would be my three words of advice. I also had some shout outs that I wanted to give, if I'm
Go
allowed to,
ahead.
because there are
Go
definitely
ahead.
some resources that um, helped me. I
Yeah.
think for those interested in the PA program, the PA profession, I would definitely recommend looking up the Pre PA Clinic on Instagram. Um, it's run by these two women named Beth and Katie. I use them to an extent, and I think for all these resources, it's not one size fit all. Definitely, like, you can choose to what extent you want to use these things,
Mm-hmm.
but they had a really good resource of, like, they had a filled Excel spreadsheet that lets you see all the schools in the country. And again, with how different a program is to the next one, it allowed me to like filter out like what prereqs I had, what prereqs I didn't have, and then see, okay, from these list of schools that I match up with, where do I actually see myself? And that was a great resource. Like, that was probably one of the best resources I ever had. Also, shadowing opportunities. They had a
Yeah.
lot of great virtual shadowing opportunities, and that's great for any application. Just you need that. Um, also want to give a shout out to Aaliyah. Um, her TikTok is Aaliyah A1A, so ALIYAHMONTT on TikTok. She was someone that I came across through a friend, and she actually helped me with revising my personal statement.
I love
And I
that.
think it was a really good experience. Not that I felt that my personal statement was slacking in any way, but I think getting a chance to have someone fresh eyes who you don't know
Mm-hmm.
see it, I think that definitely helped me for the best. So thank you, Aaliyah. She's now at PCOM doing her thing, her big one.
Oh,
So
that's so
good.
girl. Yes.
Another one, her name's Afia Wusu. Her Instagram is Wellness X Afia. So that's WELLNESSXAFIA. She's another PI connected with. Um, she's just killing the game right now. I think she's, if I'm not mistaken, she's a pediatric cardiologist. She works in pediatric cardiology. Um, just doing amazing work. Definitely, if you're looking for someone to connect with, have any questions, definitely reach out to them. Chelsea and Wendy, those are two personal PAs that I know. Thank you for just being a guide, and just helping me through the process. So all this to say, reach out,
Mhm.
ask. Don't leave no stone unturned. Another proverb from my father. Don't leave no stone unturned. I think it's really important for this process because it's you. This is your life. This is what you want to do. When you look back, what do you want your story to be? Do you want to feel like you left some food on the table, or do you want to feel like you took advantage of every opportunity? And sometimes that means reaching out to someone on Instagram that you've never met and just saying, "Hey, I'm interested in this. Would love to learn more about your process, your journey, any advice you can give," or sending an email to schools. When I didn't get in, I sent emails to every school that I applied to, asking, "How can I be a better, how can I be a better applicant for the next cycle? Because I'm still interested." I had to swallow my pride with that. It was very humbling, but it only took two responses for me to realize that, yeah, I'm meant to do this. And so just do it. Just do it. So please, please, please leave no stone unturned. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much. And shout out
Thank
to the
you.
people you gave a shout out to. It's so cool to see that you didn't do this alone. There are so many people
Yeah.
that were so kind enough to root for you and to encourage you and to advise you and give you the
Yeah.
assistance that you needed. So shout out to you guys. You
Yeah.
guys are
Oh,
great.
there's even one more. Shout out
Mhm.
Eva.
Go ahead.
My
Shout out Eva. Yeah.
my unofficial sister.
Mhm.
We have the same last name. Came up during an interview, and she's been a great help as well. And these become mentors. These mentors become friends, and
Mhm.
they're also going to become your colleagues. And also, shout out to you. Shout out
Oh,
to Met B.
don't be
This
weird. Shout
platform
out to you.
is doing things. You feel me?
Thank you.
So it's definitely reaching out to the people that needs to be reached out to, and the fact that you even thought of this, to chronicleize like your journey, your process, and other people's process is important because sometimes you don't hear about the work. You just see the
Yeah.
aesthetics, so to speak,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's important to kind of take a step back and just realize like it is a journey. And the sooner you're able to fall in love with the journey is the sooner you're able to appreciate once you reach the destination. Hey, sorry.
For
But
sure.
yeah,
For sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so
of
much. And thank
course,
you
of
for
course.
coming. Thank you
Oh,
for sharing your story. Would
oh,
you be okay with sharing your Instagram if people want to reach out to you for questions that they might
yeah,
have? Like, yeah, okay. Okay, for sure.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
still figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about it, but you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram, ENKF underscore underscore. Again, EN as in Nancy, K as in kangaroo, F as in frimpong, underscore underscore. I may start posting a little bit more of my journey
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, please, if you have any questions, I just said it. Let me know. Let me
Yeah.
see what I can do to help,
Yeah.
and we can figure it out together.
For sure. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ernest,
you.
for coming. Thank you so much. Random, but we met at like a day party like a year ago. Who knew that you'd end up
I,
on my podcast?
I
Shout out to
it's,
you. Yeah.
sometimes all it takes is a high.
All right, so that's all it takes is a high for real. So shout out to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for watching the Med to Be, everyone. I hope to see you in the next episode. If there's someone you'd like to see on our podcast, please let me know. If there's another profession you'd like us to do a deep dive in and find out more about the career path and what it takes to be in that field, please let me know. I'd be happy to help and do the research. But until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you.
Peace.
Honest conversations on the Med to Be. Black health professionals sharing, professionals caring. So come and join our conversations and get all the insight that you need.